For thousands of years, the Mi'kmaq people of Turtle Island have relied heavily on moose harvesting for both ceremonial and survival purposes. However, the criminalization of Aboriginal people and the ignored recognition of treaty rights have subjected the Mi'kmaq people to limited access to inherent resources. This has, in turn, affected their deep, profound connection to the moose and the land they reside on. Understanding the importance of moose harvesting for the Mi'kmaq people is crucial. Everyone in Canada must know the effects of culture loss and the steps that need to be taken to revitalize the Mi'kmaq culture. Most importantly, to respect the people's connection to land. Effects of Western subjectivity, stolen traditions, and colonial control over natural resources has prevented the Mi'kmaq people from fully exercising their inherent right to harvest moose. The stories that you're about to encounter contest the resiliency of the Mi'kmaq Nation and their fight for cultural revitalization.
Growing up, we really weren't allowed, I don't believe, until we got our land from the government they gave us land back it's called Moose Meadows Ranch back in the southeast. And we got that land for land transfer. They expropriated a parcel of our land for a ramp for the Trans-Canada Highway. So that was in the early 70s that we received that land, and we were only allowed to hunt on that parcel of land, from I think it was from September to the end of December. Previous to that, I guess, we were just basically the common criminal and sort of had to do it undercover, so. The treaties, if there's anything that, that the government is going to live up to what they believe is our treaty rights, is, to able to provide for our families, in the forestry and the fisheries, and all the resources that it has, let alone, the four-legged animals, and the fish that swim in the rivers, but, all the resources, from the trees, the ash that we make our baskets, and, the snowshoes, all, trees, it gives us the right, or according to the government, it's not a right, it's a privilege, to take part into the fisheries, into the hunting, and into the harvesting of, not just the game, but, all the berries and the nuts, and, growing up, we used as a family for Christmas, we used to do wreaths. So, we always used to harvest, the fir tips and go around and sell wreaths at Christmas time, because that was our income, in order to get our Christmas gifts and that. So I guess treaty rights, if there's any such thing, I believe it encompasses, not just the hunting and fishing, but all of the natural resources that we have.
Court rules 1752 treaty still valid. The recent Supreme Court of Canada decision upholding treaty rights in Nova Scotia strengthens Mi'kmaq Indians and their fight for Aboriginal rights.
It's important to me because, growing up, especially more so after my dad passed away, I was given more responsibilities, from my mom and that, because, when my dad passed, I was asked and given the responsibility of providing more, not just for my immediate family, but the community. And, and I even go a step further, I help a lot of the non-native families that are really struggling and, have a hard time to make ends meet, and to feed themselves, when I donate, moose to, a lot of the urban families in the cities, particularly in Halifax, especially, when my daughter was sick, they took us under their wing for a number of years, so I always give back to them people, and growing up, we were taught, it's always nice to receive things, but it's even nicer to help people out, and to give, because, I'm not saying I do it for that reason, but, there's going to come a time in our lives that, we're going to need help, and somebody's going to put their hand out and give us a hand, so it's all about, helping people and giving. That's who we are as First Nations people. We don't look at ourselves, we look at, all of us to help the whole community, and that's what it's all about. The moose hunt, the fishing, the salmon, it's about sharing what you got, and so that's what's important to me. It's not about money, and it's not about how big of the moose is and the size of the antlers. Antlers, you don't eat them. It's you're providing food for the people that are in need, because there's a lot of people on the low end that really appreciates it.
It's important to harvest moose respectfully because that moose sacrificed its life in order for you to sustain your life. It's important because you have to pay respect to Mother Earth. That's why the tobacco goes on the earth. And it's because that moose lived off of the earth, and you have to respect the Mother Earth as well, not just the moose. That's what you do when you lay down tobacco and you pay your respect. So you're respecting not only Mother Earth, the moose, but the Creator as well, because the Creator created that moose and Mother Earth and us. So to me, when you pay your respects to that moose, you're paying your respects to the Creator as well. Just because you shot that moose and you killed that moose, it doesn't make you above the Creator. It's about humility. It's about realizing your position with that moose and knowing that we're all connected, and that moose sacrificed its life for you. So you have to respect that, and it's really important, especially when you're hunting alone. It's just you, Mother Earth, the Creator, and the moose.
So if you respect, I guess, the process of moose harvesting, you're honoring the moose entirely. From what I've been told, when you harvest moose, you use every single piece of it, the meat, the bones. So it's basically living in a sustainable way. So you honor the process, offering tobacco. So it's part of that, I guess, the Mi'kmaq way of living, and basically it links into respecting the environment. Netukulimk, in my personal definition, is sustainability. It's a way of living, respecting all life and life cycles. When I think about the concept or that word, I think about living that lifestyle in terms of moose hunting. So we hear about these types of rules. Let's just say we can't go harvesting, is it in January? So that way we're respecting the moose population to replenish itself. There's other types of examples of those type of paradigms. For example, an elder told me fish for a certain type of fish, obviously, when blueberries are emerging. I kind of think that's linked with the migration or like the spawning. Netukulimk reflects the way of living in a sustainable way.
Concept of Netukulimk, which is respect for all life. So when it comes up to moose hunting, it's supposed to be done in a respectful way.
Netukulimk means to me many things. It means to not take too much when you're harvesting. It means to leave enough for future generations. You can't take it all. You have to be aware of how it was when you first got there, and you have to leave it in the same state that you left when you're leaving. So it's important that you understand Netukulimk to mean many things and not just one thing, because we can't eat money.
According to the Unama'ki Institute of Natural Resources, Netukulimk is the use of the natural bounty provided by the Creator for the self-support and well-being of the individual and the community. Netukulimk is achieving adequate standards of community nutrition and economic well-being without jeopardizing the integrity, diversity, or productivity of our environment. As Mi'kmaq, we have an inherent right to access and use our resources, and we have a responsibility to use those resources in a sustainable way. The Mi'kmaq way of resource management includes a spiritual element that ties together people, plants, animals, and the environment.
Mi'kmaq people, we are spiritual people, and our beliefs are that every living thing, from the four-legged creatures to the crawling creatures, to the swimming creatures, they all have a spirit, and when you take one of them creatures and feed your family, you should always give thanks, and give an offering, of tobacco or burn some sweet grass, and if you don't have that, just a plain appreciation, telling the Creator to thank you, for the moose spirit, of coming and giving up his life willingly, so that we can feed our families and feed the community and our elders and that, So, as First Nations people, everything has a spirit, right from the blade of grass, to the rocks, We have rocks that have spirits. We call them grandfathers. That, we take them into the lodge, to heal ourselves. So everything has spirits, yes. And First Nations people, we are spiritual people.
Why do you think it's important to pass that knowledge down to the next generation?
Well, it's who we are, and we should be sharing with the younger generation, because life is too quick, too fast, and and not just First Nations, but the younger generations in general. It's all about me, and it's what I can have and how pretty I look and what nice clothes I have or what I drive, and that's the value of society today, and we have to get back right now of the old ways of valuing each other and valuing families and valuing sharing and helping people, and it's so important, and to bring that together, back together, our families, it's being lost, because society today, it's all about me, and that's not who we are. It's about we. First Nations is about we and how we can help each other.
Way away, away, way away, way away, 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 oh, that way, oh, ma, gena, skena, wow, gan kamoyek, gaki, oh, esque.
I had my two youngest, my two daughters with me, Tiffany and Bobby Joe. We were going in the woods moose hunting one fall, and I was showing them how to call moose on the way in, and I could remember this just like yesterday. They were probably 5, 6 years old at that time. It was a beautiful fall morning. The sun was shining. You can hear the squirrels chirping in the woods, and just nature and all of its beauty. And the girls, my two daughters, were walking down the cut with me, and and they were going and calling for moose, and they were just giggling around, and having a grand old time. And 5, 10 minutes later, they're still calling, and Lord behold, there was 5 big bull moose come out out of the woods there, and they're, oh my God, you can hear, oh my God, Dad, look at them. I'll never forget that day. They were so excited there, and when we harvest too that morning, that'll be the best moose hunt that I ever had, and what I always remembered, and that just like it happened yesterday.
The restoration of the Mi'kmaq moose harvest is a direct result from knowledge sharing and the oral translation from one generation to the next. These intuitive practices are components that have begun to deconstruct the Western discourses that have controlled the Mi'kmaq way of life. Reclaiming the moose harvest tradition will inspire future generations. It is the purpose of this research to educate and empower Mi'kmaq people to revitalize their ancestral heritage.